it's Melissa. Happy Tuesday. I hope you are all having a fabulous day. Today I am going to show you the answer to one of these questions I get over and over and over again, and that is how to do a full wrap all over sublimation on a 20-ounce tumbler with a mug press. Okay, so typically what you'll see is people using a convection oven, which you need a dedicated oven for, or you will see some type of special attachment, but they're hard to find. So I'm using what I have, which is what I would encourage you to do if you have this. I have put the links up for everything. This mug press that I'm using is part of my 8-in-1 mug press, my 8-in-1 heat press. It comes with the mug press attachment along with 4 of the different mug presses that you can, mug press attachments that you can use, okay, depending on the size and the diameter of your mug. So obviously we're using a tumbler here. Oh, by the way, I should mention, this essentially comes as a 4-in-1 standalone. So you don't have to, if you already have a heat press and you don't need that, you can just do the 4-in-1 and it'll come with what we need. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I already printed this sublimation sheet out just so that I have it. I am gonna reprint it so you guys can see pretty much start to finish. So the design, this template itself is a PNG specifically sized for a 20-ounce tumbler. So all I did was open it in my Sawgrass Print Manager, or you can bring it into Silhouette Studio, which actually is what I typically do. Size it so it fills the entire page. You wanna make sure that there's like pretty much no margin on there. And then I printed it. So it's already set up, it's gonna get ready to print. I'm gonna print that now so you literally can see start to finish. It does take a second for it to print. So we will wait for that to print. Okay, so what you're gonna do, as it's printing, I'm gonna let you see it print so you know I didn't like cheat the system or anything. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have this and you're gonna have a very small white margin on either side, most likely, okay? One of those you need to trim off, because if you don't, what's gonna happen is when you have your sublimation tumbler, if you wrap this around and tape it, you're gonna end up with a white line down there because you didn't trim off the margin. So I'm just using my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim as little as I can, just making sure that I get that white spot off of there. So what you can see, so this is what I trimmed off. The sheet is now has 3 sides of white, okay? Also, those of you asking how to do glitter sublimation tumblers, this is also what you're gonna wanna know. Okay, so we have our template. Now it's time to tape. You want a lot of tape. Let me tell you, I just got this tape dispenser and it's a lifesaver because otherwise I was constantly like ripping and prepping and it's just a problem. All right, so you're gonna start. You have to be strategic about how you start here. So this 20-ounce tumbler is pretty much the same width as my 8.5 by 11 sheet. The key here is you want to make sure that you're not getting any white on the top of the bottom edges, or you're gonna have a little bit of a white line. So be really careful in how you do that. Now let me just grab my sheet so you can see. Printed exactly the same. Okay, so now I can make another one. Okay, so I kind of jumped ahead. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. You wanna try to make sure that there's sublimation print on either side here, okay? And then you're gonna fold forward. This is the side that I cut that I trimmed that white piece off. That needs to go under, completely next to your next to your mug. Don't tape that yet though, because again, if you have a piece of tape here, and then when you fold this side up, you're gonna end up with a spot that's not gonna be able to be sublimated because the tape is in the way. So you're gonna hold that there, and then pull this side up with your other hand and wrap it as tight as you can. Again, make sure that it's wrapping straight. Try to do it this way so you can see, okay? And then you're gonna hold it there and grab a piece of tape. And then you are going to aggressively tape. When I say aggressively, you are gonna tape more than like you feel like you need to tape, okay? So we're gonna tape that whole seam there, and then we need to tape the top and the bottom. So right now, see how it's just sticking up? Same thing down here. You wanna tape it over. Now, my suggestion is to start by taping the top lip over, because what happens is, if you start taping the bottom, you it ends up pushing the template through. Remember, there's no tape actually on the tumbler right now. So if you start, see, look, it's slipping. So if you start taping from the bottom, you end up pushing up and you end up with a bit of a white line around the top, okay? So let me tell you how many times I've tested this, and this is the conclusion that I have come to, that you want to start taping from the top, okay? So you're just gonna fold it over as best you can, as tight as you can, and once it's folded completely over, again, you're gonna start aggressively taping, okay? All right, so it's on there. So now, again, you're just gonna take the tape and you're gonna hold it on there really tightly. You want this wrap to be on as tight as you can. The taping is really the key to the success of a full all over tumbler, okay? And I didn't do any of this ahead of time because I wanted you to see the full process. Now, what I did do is I did write a blog post on this, and I threw the link up for that for you so that you can go back and watch all of this. Do you see how much I'm taping? Do not be afraid to use too much tape. You need the tape. You want this to stay completely tight. Now, while you're taping, make sure that your mug press is warmed up. Because we have a mug press that is not the full length of our tumbler, we're gonna have to do this in 4 different sections, okay? So you want your heat press warmed up to 350 degrees. Normally, you would do it for 2 minutes. We are going to do it for 50 seconds for each section, and we're gonna split this thing into 4 sections. I'm gonna show you how to do that as soon as I finish taping. Again, aggressively taping all the way to avoid as many wrinkles as possible. This seems like overkill. Again, I've bought a lot of blank tumblers and I've been testing a lot to figure out exactly how to get a really nicely done tumbler all over, no white spots, little to hopefully no ghosting, and so there's that. Also, can we just talk about the fact that, do you hear that? No? Me neither. It's my kids, both back in school. God bless America. They are both back in school for the first time. Olivia has not been in 5-day-a-week school because we didn't have the option since March 2020. I know a lot of you are in the same situation, but thank the Lord, they're both back in school. Today's the first day of school. I can get back to full capacity working. They can get back to seeing their friends. I'm so happy for them and me. Okay, this seems aggressive. It's pretty aggressive. Also, why you need a pink tint dispenser. Okay, so as we talked about, we're gonna do this in 4 sections. I'm gonna start with having, so this is the seam up the top. You wanna make sure, be aware of where you put the seam. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna put this in, it's gonna stick out part of the way. Then when the 50-second timer goes off, we're gonna push it all the way through and do the other half. When that 50-second timer ends, I'm gonna rotate it 180 degrees so then the seam is down the bottom, and repeat that process. So do you see what's happening here? We're splitting this like 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? All right, so this is gonna take a little bit of time, but we wanna do this. We wanna make sure that we have this in here. You're gonna use as tight a pressure as you can. And I actually like to mark where, well, if I have a pencil, which it doesn't look like I do, I like to mark where my spot is so that I know how far to push it through, okay? So this is going now. Again, if you get the 4-in-1 mug press, it's gonna come with 2 of these mug sizes. One has a thinner pad than the other. You can make this work with both. You get better pressure if you have the thicker pad, okay? So that's the one I'm using, but this is the thinner one. And again, even though this is sticking out, you should be able to see. Can you see how my tumbler is sticking out? We are going to be able to press this whole thing. So once this timer goes off, I'm gonna press it, push it through, so then this section that you see that's sticking out now is gonna go in, okay? So we will release this. Now this is why it's important to make sure that we do this with the seam up, so we are keeping track of where we have already pressed, okay? So you wanna make sure that your mug tumbler is all the way in, and again, we're gonna do that for 50 seconds. Now this mug press, as I said, along with the fact that it's a 15 by 15 mug press, it also comes with a hat press attachment and a plate press attachment. Who knew? I haven't done the hat, no, I have done hats. I haven't done the plates yet, but Christmas seems like a good time to make some custom sublimation plates, which would be, you could put in the microwave, you could put in the dishwasher, you could, you can use them how you want, whereas with HTV or something like that, it would be, you wouldn't be able to put them, well, it's not suggested that you put them in the dishwasher or the microwave, okay? But for HTV, you can. All right, so once this is done, now we have the seam, as you can see, is going right across the top. When this is finished, what I'm gonna do is rotate the tumbler, and I'm gonna repeat this same spot, because right now there's a spot here that's not getting any heat, okay? So we're gonna rotate that so it's down, okay? And another 50 seconds on here, and then another 50 after that, and then we will be done. Now, those of you asking about where to get full wraps, this is just one. You'll see it comes out of the printer. It's pretty dull looking, but once we are finished with this, it's gonna be super vibrant. It's gonna look like glitter, but obviously that is just part of the print. So I am not a glitter type person, just like I'm not typically a paint type person. Like if it involves 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes of cleanup, like I'm out. That's not for me. I mean, it's for me as far as a tutorial, but like it's really not for me. I like the faux glitter, right? The reason I like the Icon Art stencil system is because it's like bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, you're done. There's hardly any cleanup, and the paint, that kind of thing. But if you guys, I know lots of you like to make glitter tumblers, more power to you, not me. All right, we're almost done. Once this is done, we will be able to pull off the all this tape. Now, just be aware, sometimes this takes some practice. It takes a lot of practice. You can get like a white line around the top or a little bit of ghosting. That again is why you're really trying to put as much pressure with the tape as you can. This is gonna be hot also, and I forgot to grab, oh, I have a towel here. I'll just use this. So this is gonna come out really hot, but I want you to be able to see how this works when we take this tape off. So from start to finish, okay, you'll be able to do that. Now, let's see, I have some other, oh gosh, everything's falling. I have some other tumblers. So this is a tapered tumbler. This set that I'm showing you comes with a tapered version as well. And for that, you would want to use something like this, okay? So all of those can be done on here. Okay, so here's our mug. Now I'm gonna hold this carefully. I really need like a pot holder or something. And you wanna be careful that you don't scrape it, but I do wanna get all this tape off of here so that I can start unwrapping this, and you can see how this comes out. This is like, I always get so excited about this and like equally nervous at the same time. Like, please work, please. Oh boy. Look at this. So, the longer this cools on here, it just makes it a little bit tough to get, oh gosh, it's so hot. I don't want to pick it too much with my scraper because I don't want to scratch my mug, but here's, just tear this thing off of here. Can you see? Okay, it's starting to cool a little bit, but I gotta, I really can't, I'm gonna burn myself. I don't know if you guys remember, but about probably 5 or 6 years ago, I was doing a, I burned my hand. I got 2nd-degree burns on my hand doing crafts. So be careful. Okay, this is, it takes as long to undo it as it does to tape it. All right. Okay, and then we're gonna get this bottom piece, and it looks like there's a line around the middle where we taped down the middle, but there's not, don't worry. Okay, get all that out of here. So what we have is our full mug wrap. Now look, there's a little bit of the paper that's just stuck on there because that was where it was got like double sublimated, okay? So here is the tumbler. Do you see how gorgeous that is? Look at that. Glitter, full on, looks like glitter. You can see from the light it's shining. And I just love this. These templates are, like I said, they're perfectly sized. If you tape them, you can barely even see the seam. This is the seam here where we had, of course, they're called seamless, but of course there's gonna be somewhat of a seam, right? Just a little bit, but look how gorgeous that is. Now, if you wanted to customize this further, you could do something like, again, take your template into Silhouette Studio and you could type out something like a name in white or something like that. And then what would happen is once you wrapped it on here, the part that's white would show as the name, okay? I would not, I mean, you could go ahead and put, you know, some kind of vinyl on top of this, but I would do everything with sublimation because the great thing about this is it's all, there's no feel, you know, hand, it's called hand. There's no hand to it. It's all smooth. I don't know if you can see, it's completely smooth. There's nothing, you know, totally vibrant. Looks like there's glitter, but really there's not. It's just this like awesome, really high quality, professional looking tumbler. And again, you're doing that all with just a regular mug press, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I only have a mug press, I can't do 20-ounce tumblers. You absolutely can, okay? Now, 30-ounce tumblers are a little bit taller, and so you wouldn't have the thing that's nice about this is that this mug press here hits almost exactly half. I haven't tried it with the 30-ounce, but I will give it a try. It really takes no longer than if you were going to use, well, you have to pretty much buy the whole new thing. I'm not sure that you can add it on, but they do make like tumbler ones, but that would take 2 minutes. So the fact that this takes 50, okay, so it takes closer to 4 minutes, but you're still able to do it, all right? All right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. All the links for everything is up top. For once, all that stuff is in stock. I've been waiting to do this until everything is in stock. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'll see you later.